everyone, welcome to Raw TV. I'm your host, Gabrielle Doraisamy. So we all have to start somewhere. When I first came to Southeastern and saw all the students doing Raw TV, I was so terrified. They all seemed so much older than I was, so experienced, and like they really knew what they were doing. It was hard to go from a really small high school where I knew everyone to a really big university where I was at the bottom of the food chain. Again. Now, after a few years, I'm here and I kind of know what I'm doing, or at least I do a really good job of fooling everyone. Unfortunately, in just a few weeks, I will be graduating only to start the process all over again. But you know what? It's okay. It's the circle of life, and we are all constantly always starting off at the bottom. Like my grandfather always says, it's up or nothing. Today, we're talking about exactly that, how we can move up the ladder and excel both professionally and personally. So now that I've shared with you a little bit of the beginnings of my life goals, let's hear from Brittany Duffy with Word on the Street.
Thanks, Gabby. Well, I'm here at Southeastern University where the theme is always excellence. I'm going onto the street to see what life goals students are making. So what current goals do you have for your life?
Right now it's going to be trying to finish up my master's degree here studying that, and maybe go into television and broadcasting down the line and announcing in professional sports.
I would like to eventually be a worship leader. For right now, I just want to focus on the music aspect of that.
A couple goals I have, obviously, is to finish college and get my degree, maybe pursue a master's degree, and ultimately raise a family under a Christian home.
Love Jesus and survive.
I'm currently working on losing 45 pounds. I'm down 5 already.
To graduate college, which I'll be doing this May.
Even though students at Southeastern are in the same place in life, each person has individual goals that they are reaching for. What are some of your goals?
Thank you, Brittany. Well, we want to welcome our lovely panelists, Lydia, Austin, and Gabrielle. Thanks for being on the show, as always. So we're talking about a big thing, life goals. No big deal. You know, it's kind of high pressure. As a graduate, I'm kind of feeling the pressure for sure. What are your life goals, guys? Do you have any big ones that you want to share?
Get my degree.
Get your degree. Wake up, survive tomorrow, and go back to bed.
First life goal on the checklist.
Okay, you want to graduate, Austin?
I just want to have a successful career with a good family, and I'm not asking to be rich, but I don't want to be in debt.
That's true. I think that's the same for all of us.
Yeah.
We don't want to have all those student loans pile up on us.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think for me, it's just traveling.
Yeah.
That was like a big part of my childhood, so I just want to keep on doing that.
Me too. Just, you know, go somewhere different than Florida.
Yeah.
For once.
That's my ultimate life goal would be able to use like my talents and my passions and skills in a ministry setting while also having a good family life at home.
Yeah, it's a big balance, and especially as seniors, I feel like everyone's coming up, what are you doing after college? And I just have no idea.
Right?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel on the inside. So I kind of like talking about this, and I kind of went on the internet and was looking for kind of tips, because I feel like a lot of times we spend a lot of our time talking about these goals, and maybe we'll, if we're lucky, write them down on a post-it note, and then it kind of just gets moved to the back of the brain. So I was looking at like tips and things that we can do for kind of putting those plans into action. Exactly. Yeah. So there's this lifestyle guru out there. So I don't know how you become a lifestyle guru, but this guy apparently has got it nailed.
You're doing something right.
You're doing something right, yeah. Robert Chen, and he has some tips. And first thing he said is you want to add value, and this can be used in like, I guess, your professional setting and personal stuff, right? Like,
definitely
you can add value. Like, he was talking kind of about how you should go above and beyond what's asked of you and kind of be an asset to just your friends and to your employer. That makes sense?
Well, if I can say something, I actually read on Facebook today, one of my friends posted a picture with a quote that said, if your dreams don't scare you, then maybe they're not big enough. So
all those quotes, that's how I feel.
You know what's funny though? A lot of the times the people posting the quotes are the people that you're like,
I'm posting like
kind of question
on Instagram, like if I want to start working out, I'll like follow all these like really
Inspiration
inspirational things.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yes, I should do that. But never do them. Another thing was follow your passion.
Yeah.
So I mean, how important is it to you guys to like follow what you really want to do versus the money or something?
So important. Like I was raised by hippies, and they were just always like,
I was raised by hippies.
I was like, you met my mother. She's a hippie. She has tortoises and her own eggs every morning. But it was just always, follow your passion, whatever you're good at. Like, God gave you those passions for a reason. Like, that's where you're probably going to excel. because you're passionate. So if you're not following that, if you're doing it just for the money, like everyone's gonna love money, but that's not the true passion and purpose for life.
Do you guys feel like you have a general idea of what you're passionate about, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think whatever, like,
Do you also?
I feel lost
inspires you,
sometimes, honestly, because I have a lot of passions. So, you know, it's like, what am I going to do with my life?
I love a lot of things all
I
the
like
time.
a lot of stuff, so.
yeah.
So you like everything. Okay, so be passionate and be extraordinary. So I was reading this, I was like, how do you tell someone to be extraordinary? You know, like how, to you guys, if I was to tell you be extraordinary, what comes to mind?
I think just quality.
Do the best that you, be the best that you can, you know, don't settle for less than your best and who you are.
Absolutely.
I think that.
Yeah, I think it's just aiming high. I feel like a lot of being extraordinary has to do with self-motivation. It's not like someone can go up to you and be like, be extraordinary. You have to like do it right now.
Oh, actually, it's funny you say that. The next tip that this lifestyle guru had was do it now.
Okay.
She's ahead of the game. Because
I could be a lifestyle coach.
how many times do we have these great ideas and we'll be like tomorrow, or we spend so much of our life planning. And planning sounds good, like, oh, I'm planning to do this, I'm planning to do that, and you're like, I'm on top of it.
And we can plan for years without it even going anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll do it, tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know?
I do it all the time. Like, I'll have an idea, and it's a great idea, and I think about it, and I think about it, and I think about it, and then it's old news to me, and I tell somebody new, and they're like, that's awesome, why don't you do it? I'm like, I'm already bored of it. I don't want,
like I plan the next 5 years and
I'm just already, I'm done. In my mind, I already wrote that book. So why put the effort in?
There you go. So we can't get too caught up in planning or postponing.
You have to just
we have to do it now. Another thing that I thought was really important was have mentors in your life, no matter what industry you're going into.
That's true.
Do you guys have mentors in your life, or have you had friends?
I
do.
Absolutely.
Various mentors from family and friends, you know. I like to take a little of what they all have to say and apply it.
Yeah. And I think that they're kind of the people in your lives too that can kind of kick your butt, you know, because your peers, you are kind of looking, they're out there struggling with you, but your mentors are those people that are a step above you that you could really, if they're saying like, why aren't you doing this? You need to do this. You're kind of like, oh, it hurts so good. All right, I'll go do it.
Yeah, and what was so cool was if you're going to find a mentor in your industry, find someone who is doing what you want to do, who is doing it now.
Yep.
And they can be like, okay, well, what are the tips and tricks along the way, and avoid some mistakes. Another thing that I think a lot of people of our age don't pay attention to is know your finances. How important is that?
Yep.
Because if you want
we forget that a lot. We forget about that a lot.
I do a lot of things like, oh, I need that jacket. I need that for the interview tomorrow to get the job. And a lot of
I bought 2 pairs of shoes this week.
Yep.
That was a mistake.
My nails, I'm like, I have to get them done though. It makes me look presentable to get my hot pink nails.
The last thing that he said was be resilient. So, I mean, we're going to go for job interviews, we're going to find all these opportunities, and we're going to not get a lot of the things. So, right, that's pretty important, right?
Yeah, you have to have a thick skin.
So practicing all these things can help get to the top of your field or the top of your social sphere. And we all may start at the bottom, but we don't all want to stay there. So this time, Brittany Duffy asks people about their definition of making it to the top.
Everyone has different goals set for their future. I'm asking students how they define making it to the top. Let's find out.
Fulfilling God's plan for my life and just following through with what He has planned for me.
I don't think there's a spot where you can say I've made it, but I know it's just every day is kind of making it to the top, that you're better than what you were the day before, or even the second before, that you just keep pursuing what you think is the best for you and that you keep growing.
Students had a variety of definitions for the term making it to the top. What does it mean to you?
Thank you, Brittany. So for this episode, we did something a little different for you all. Rather than hear us talk about how we can get to the top, we thought it would be beneficial to hear from some people who have already made it there. Take a look at this.
On today's show, we're talking about starting from the bottom. Now, many of us, myself included, still feel at the bottom of the food chain. Luckily, Raw TV was able to approach a dynamic duo that has dominated the field of television broadcast. Energetic hosts of the nationally syndicated television show Daytime, Jerry Penacoli and Cindy Edwards are a long way from the bottom and only continuing to rise to the top.
All right, so we have Cindy and
Gabby.
Jerry. Hi.
How are you?
Kind of fun to be in front of the camera with you guys. You both have traveled quite a ways to be here, especially you, Cindy, coming all the way from Canada. So tell us a little bit about where you came from before the Sunshine State.
Well, I lived in Ottawa, Ontario, which is the capital city of Canada, and it's the second coldest capital city in the world in the wintertime.
Why would you live there? Well, my story, where do I begin? I mean,
Give us the condensed version.
well, I interned, by the way, which is what you guys would be most interested in hearing. And, you interned as well, didn't you?
Well, yes.
Yeah, very good place to start. So you guys are doing exactly the right thing. The Gabbies, we love the Gabbies. And so I interned at NBC in New York. I was very lucky. I was going to school in Connecticut.
Peanuts here.
No, I start at the top. What can I say? When I came here, part of the deal was I would be reducing my full-time duties with Extra to part-time so that I can be closer to my family and do this show. But the deal is that we air all of the interviews I do either on this show, if they want, because we did a Richie Sambora interview here, which Extra took, and then all of my interviews with Extra we usually take here. So just interviewed Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence.
That's not common in this industry, is it?
No.
So you really have an awesome deal.
Yeah, it's a really sweet deal.
How did you both realize that this is what you wanted to do with your life? Was there a special moment, or you saw someone in
They
action?
wouldn't take me in the priesthood, so I had.
So
Nobody would ever
naturally.
When you knew at an early age, 'cause
I
you
did.
visited a television station, right?
I had a cousin who was a director in a TV station in the place where I was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So when I was a little kid,
A little wee lad.
as Cindy would say, a wee little boy.
Yeah.
Yes, I was being brought into the television station, and I got this,
You
this
got the
look
bug.
around, yeah. And so ever since I was a kid, I kind of knew I wanted to do something in this business. I didn't know quite what it was, but that sort of evolved after time. And you knew.
I did not have a clue what I was going to
in
do.
In college, you had a little bit
Nope,
of. No,
not a
even
clue.
little, I think.
Although, when I look back now, and I was in high school, I used to do the high school report at the local radio station.
There you go.
Every week. But I never thought, hey, I think I'd like to do this for a career. So I went to university. I was going to be an anthropologist. I was going to be an astronaut. I was going to be a sociologist. I was going to be a.
It's all on
You
And
know
she
what?
could do it.
She could do that. I'd vote for you.
I would too.
But then, after I got my degree, I went to college after that, and I took broadcasting, and I went, wow, this is something I actually really love. And then I knew.
How important is it to pick a degree or a major that you think is best suited for you?
Well, I didn't pick anything that was suited for me at first, but I'm glad I have that background. And then, of course, you've got to get the fundamentals, but you really learn on the job.
Right.
You learn at school, and the more hands-on stuff you can do, the better, and the internships and stuff, but you really learn once you get in there.
Because this can be scary, especially speaking from a student's point of view.
Sure.
You go, oh my gosh, at 18, what is the rest of your life going to look like?
Who knows? Who knows? You have to just let it happen in a way.
Comforting.
Well, the other thing too is it's important to have a degree at some point, but not jump into anything that you really don't know if you really want. You need to be passionate about it. I actually picked up 2 degrees in college, broadcast journalism and theater, because I really wanted to secretly be an actor, you see. But my parents said,
You never know it.
over our dead bodies. And so, but I ended up getting into acting, midlife, which, has proven to be a lot of fun for me as well, in addition to doing this. So the point is, though, don't rush into picking a degree for the sake of picking a degree. Really know yourself and know where your strengths are, and do the internships and get the hands-on
And get a job.
ability.
If somebody offers you a job in a tiny, tiny little town, take it. You got to get the experience. My first job in television was not on camera.
Got to start
Just
somewhere.
had to keep working my way up.
Absolutely.
My first job was on camera.
Of course it was.
He just pushed the guy out. We never heard from the first guy before. And here he is.
No, but it goes to show, this is a long time ago too, but it goes to show you, if you go small enough,
Yes.
out of town, wherever, you can really just work your way up.
I was a news anchor. My first on-air job was as a news anchor, producer, shooter, editor.
Yeah, doing it all.
Totally. That was a good way to learn.
And that can cross over into any industry, really. It's not necessarily broadcast. You start at the bottom and then you work your way up, which is exactly what we're talking about here today. And we wanted to actually ask you, what are some of the hurdles that you guys have had to go through, or obstacles, on the way, and how did you keep the momentum to keep going and remain that zest,
You got 2 hours?
In a condensed version, yeah. What are some obstacles that Jerry Penacoli had to go through on the road to success?
Well, there's hurdles in everybody's road to success. It's not just in this business. Every single thing that one starts out to do in life, you're gonna have peaks and valleys. It's just that's the nature of life, and it makes you. It sounds trite, but it makes you stronger when you have these dips and I've been laid off before. I've been budget cuts. All of those things, they definitely constitute dips. But you you get right back up and you pick yourself up and you keep going. And if you believe in yourself and you're passionate enough about what you do every single day, and you find the joy in what you do every single day, then you will be successful.
And you have to be good at it as well. I mean, you could say you want to be the best opera singer in the world. If you can't sing, you're never going to be the best opera singer in the world. So you have to find something you're passionate about, but you're also good at. It helps.
What are some quick, and this last thing, what are some quick pieces of advice for kind of making those actual concrete steps towards getting to your big success, or, you know, making those goals actually a reality rather than just have a vague, you know, this is what I want to do with my life and I'll get there somehow. Any tips, any secrets?
Never work too hard, in my opinion.
That's true.
I used to work through every holiday, spend time late at work putting together demo tapes. I mean, I would be there till 2 in the morning putting together the best tape I could so that I could get it out there to keep going and further the career. So really, I mean, you can't rest on your laurels once you get your first job. You have to keep working harder than everybody else if you want to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and know who you are, where you are at that time, and know when it's time to leave, and know when you want to, you know, make whatever the next jump is. A lot of people just kind of go through and they're like, they get stuck in a job and it's safe, and they never push it. Yeah, and you need to push forward, but also be, and this is again, we hear it all the time, but it's so true. Be true to who you are. If you are true to yourself and you are passionate about who you are and what you do and what you can offer in this job, then you will be the biggest success.
Well, there you have it from the actual daytime cast here in the studios of Channel 8, right here in Tampa. So back to you in the studio.
What are we doing with all of this knowledge? What are we doing to make our goals happen? And once again, Brittany Duffy has more.
Every goal has its journey. Some are easy and some are hard. I'm asking students what actions they have taken to reach their goals.
I'm in college, so that's kind of my way of striving to be better.
Well, just staying in God's Word and pursuing Him and just growing in my relationship daily with Him, ultimately, I feel will get me to the top and reach my goals that I've set for myself.
Each student described their personal journey to their goal. I'm Brittany Duffy with the Word on the Street. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Brittany. Well, we are joined by a very special guest, Ezra Santiago. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
He's very excited. He's like, I don't know about the cameras.
I hate them. I actually hate them.
He's doing a great job. So you're here at Southeastern. How did you first arrive at Southeastern? What brought you here?
Well, actually, I was a transfer student.
Okay.
I did my AA degree at Santa Fe College, and then I transferred. So when I came here, didn't know anyone.
You were starting at the bottom.
At the bottom, my friend.
There you go. What was your major?
I did international business.
That's one of those majors where you tell people and they're like, wow.
That's like impressive.
Pre-med. You tell them communications, no lie, someone told me, so you don't have to do math, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not just communication, general communication. Like, I'm not even specializing.
So you came here, you transferred. Right. I was a transfer student as well. And how did you get involved? I mean, you're very involved to this point, but you've been here for several years now, right?
That's right. Well, actually, I came here, I got here, I didn't know anyone. I felt like this awkward kid in the shadows.
That's what
for
you did.
over a year, I was trying to figure out, how should I be connected, with who, and I was at the bottom. I was at the bottom. And then eventually I started Ola, and I started working with the Hispanic community, but it was like that.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, history. Yeah.
So Ola, tell me a little bit about that. Now it's Hour of Latin Awakening. And Ola is what it's known here on campus. And for those of you who don't know, on campus here, it's huge. Ola is when you have events, I mean, it's packed out.
It's the biggest it's ever been now, right?
Yeah, it is.
So is that cool for you? I mean, how does that feel?
Well, it feels awesome. It feels amazing.
I bet.
Like one thing is that when I started Ola, I really wanted, probably the thing that I wanted to do was working with freshmen, like be part of FYE
Get them at the bottom.
And
Did you relate to them?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I like just working with younger, younger people. But then I said, like, what can I do that will be unique, And instead of just working with, FYE or DSF or any other department, during that summer I was trying to figure out, what was a real need at Southeastern University.
The summer of after you graduated? Or?
No, that was actually the first summer that I got here.
Oh, so you started immediately.
Yeah,
wow.
So after a year, that first year I didn't do anything, and I'm like, I want to get plugged, I need to do something, and then I said, there's nothing for the Hispanic community, so what about starting Ola, and that's basically how we started.
That's cool because so many of us want to get plugged in and want to get involved, and we don't know how to do it. But what people forget is you just have to be proactive about it. So
rather than join the cool club, make the cool club.
Well, that's what I think is so cool too, because you didn't just start something new, you started something that would bring even more diversity to encourage more people to do like-minded things, of starting,
And I think something really important when you are at the bottom and you want to make a way, not just for yourself, but for other people as well, the very first thing that you need to do is just target a real need. So many people have cool ideas, awesome, but is that really needed?
Was there a need? I mean, there's a lot of Latin community here on campus now, but was there a couple years ago?
Well, there was a lot of people. They were all scattered, so I'll say yes. There was a need, and more than just having an Hispanic community, I think that for us is many of us we come from countries, like Puerto Rico. In my case, is not a country; it's a Commonwealth. It's a weird political situation. But then you have people coming from Colombia, Peru, and they don't have family. It's so hard for them. English is their second language, and they just feel awkward. And I felt that something, was, we needed to do something for them. They need to feel like family. I'm not here at Southeastern. I'm gonna die. We have people like you, my friend, that say hola, ¿cómo estás? Doing well.
Well, my roommate loves Ola. He's been a part of it for a while. He's from Puerto Rico, and his roommate was from, I want to say, Puerto Rico too, and he left after last semester because he didn't adapt well here. So,
bye. And that's the thing. Me myself, I come from a very Hispanic part of Tampa, town and country, and my niece is Puerto Rican, so it's very I am not myself, Latina, but I've that's what I've grown up around, a culture. So even coming to Southeastern, I even felt a little bit of where is this on campus? Where's some diversity? And so walking down El Prado and hearing bachata and all this stuff, I was like, hey! So it's it's cool to open up.
You really saw a need and you filled the need.
Yeah.
When you came here, did you ever feel that you were at any type of a setback or disadvantage because you didn't have that?
Of course. When I came here, my English was so crappy. I felt I didn't know anyone, and everyone is in community. So I didn't come as a freshman. I was a transfer. So I'm
it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, it's rough. For me, it was oh my God, this is really bad. So it was hard. I felt almost that year. I felt like that. It's I don't know, God. You need to do something in my life. Yeah. No, I never thought about it. But I just really was praying about God. You need I'm gonna be here for 2 years, and I don't want to be just lingering around, just doing anything. I want to be intentional, and I want you to use me, in some way. And I'm even I have my limitations with my language, and I didn't have friends.
You turned that into an advantage.
Yes.
That is what's so neat. And so I think something that we really want to touch on is when you had this idea of Ola and this concept, what did you do? What were some of the first initial steps that you took to take the idea and concept and turn it into a tangible reality, a thing, an entity?
I'll say that the first thing that we basically did is we had the dream, we had the idea, then we had to make it relatable for everyone. In order for that vision, that dream to be tangible, people have to feel part of it. So basically, the first season of Ola was just sharing that vision with everyone. And, you know, like, you're Hispanic, you're welcome. You're Asian, you're welcome. You're green, you're welcome. You know, and it's like, you know, creating this family. I wanted everyone to feel part of Ola, despite, you know, their heritage, despite their you know, like their culture. Just
so Ola is more than just the Hispanic culture. Ola is more of it's a culture in its own right.
Yes,
you know?
and you know, there's a lot of people this year is like, I'm not Hispanic, I cannot be part of Ola. And we're like, no, oh, come on, you know, just chill.
It's like a revolution on campus, basically.
I just feel like so happy in the sense that even now, like there's a lot of people like Afro-Americans that are starting the same thing that we just did with Ola, and other people are like, wow, you know, like
It's 3 years, right?
Roughly 3 years. 1 year was 3 years, it'll be the third year.
So to create something from a concept to have it a full-blown movement on a campus is, I think, huge.
It caught on like wildfire.
Really,
I feel like.
Crazy.
How important is it to bring people, specific people, on board with your vision? Because your marketing, for instance, is like on point. So how is it? Like, how did you go about selecting the right people?
I think, especially when you are in this first stage, when you're sharing vision, you know, there's people that are gonna come and you're gonna notice, you know, they have something special, something unique, they wanna be part of it. And it's not just that they buy the idea, but they're willing to share it with everyone. And I think that, honestly, as well, when you wanna make something tangible, I'm not preaching, but you need God's favor and grace, you know, and I think that when something is birthed, not from your own, you know, selfishness or your own, you know, like, I want to do it, but you look for God's approval and God's grace, you know, God is going to bring the people, everything is going to fall into place. And you know, Ola is a miracle. We didn't have the resources, we didn't have so many things, we just have people, a vision, loud music, Ola.
Well, when you first started, like, just to show the numbers, kind of, when you first started, how many people would you say that you had versus now?
We started, our first Ola night was, oh my God, it was really bad. It was kind of a small group environment, and we had our first thing that we did was probably had 8 people.
All right.
8 people. And then after that, then we did another event, and we had probably 75. And then recently, the not this Ola night, but the other one, we almost had 400 people.
Wow.
And the thing is that there's no other event on campus that reach so many people without chapel credits. You know? So it's like people that come to Ola nights, they're not looking for a chapel credit. They're just looking for the experience.
Well, because you know, they tell their friends.
That's what makes them want it. They feel like
he gets up on stage, dance, they all come. It's great. No, it's true. I mean, now being at school, it is a thing now to say, if you're planning an event, okay, when are the dates of Ola? Because you can't have anything on those nights because people will not come because they will be at Ola. It's a thing. And so it's so cool to see what you have kind of birthed and now grown and are now inspiring other people to do. So we want to congratulate you. Thank you for coming on the show. So I hope you enjoyed hearing all that he had to say. His little dance moves are very cool also. We have an awesome episode for you guys coming up after this. And we want to thank you guys for watching, and always keep up with us on our social media. Feel free to send us a message, which our address is below. And always remember to live it raw.